Okay.
Sorry,
Yep.
Nelson.
Let me.
Yep, we're definitely live.
Before we get into that too, let me just drop this bit of news here too, because this is probably relevant given our topic for today, or our topic today. Is there a watch together link, by the way, so I can?
Let me get that right now. I will be doing this ghetto gorilla style, so you will be seeing shit all over the place. Let's see here. Here's the watch.
Yes,
together.
Resident Evil 3 is up for pre-order on PSN right now. Just not GameStop for some reason. I might have to call them after this and see if they'll have the.
I want my classic soundtrack, goddammit. Well, I guess it makes sense because apparently the site does not work. It's like down, so they're not updating it until tomorrow.
You know, we're the Resident Evil 3 site. I checked it earlier and still not up.
Yep. You will get a 404 page. It is down.
Interesting.
I have a page that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Let me turn this off. I'm gonna have to call them and see. But anyway, this is irrelevant. We're here to talk about that. Good stuff. I'm gonna drop this this link to the video if it's not already up because it's a 4K version.
All right, let me cut the volume down a little bit.
What the fuck? Why is this room not in dark mode?
I don't know.
I know why. Because I have fucking.
Because it's probably just a new room. Yeah, it's temporary rooms, no.
Make it dark.
I got full screen. You can see. What the hell is that? What is that endangered species of a panda on screen? I don't know what that is.
That's a coincidence.
That's great. I love it.
But I have it all widescreen, so if you guys want to play the trailer, you can.
Okay, I think it's buffering right now at the moment. I don't know if I can play it, but
You want me to try it?
let me try it really quick.
All right.
No, it's playing this stupid panda video. Get rid of it off of the playlist.
How you take it out? Oh fuck. There we go.
Okay.
You had to put the video in the thing and then click on it.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, I'm gonna go back a little bit
Wait,
back.
hold on. Can we like do like a countdown refresher because it's all over the place.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, I'm gonna do the countdown. We're gonna break down this trailer. It's all over the place. We're kind of hyped. I think hyped is kind of an understatement. Actually,
My
at this
dick
point.
is hard.
Yeah. So RE3 remake announcement trailer, kind of hidden behind. They were gonna make this a Resident Evil Resistance announcement, but they kind of teased it like that. So, anyway, this is the trailer for RE3 remake. I'm gonna pause it right here because it starts off with the clock. It's under military time. I'm not sure if anybody else noticed that before.
Isn't this like a small little segment of like a montage of RE2 while they have this clock here?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yep. So we'll.
And then the time rewinds backwards after a certain point.
Yep. So like this part right here, obviously we know this part from RE2 remake, and there were some kind of like shots from, oh, like these are some of the locations from that game. So that's what we're about to see is just a bunch of like locations from RE2.
Wait, hurry up!
And that was been done in the background.
Yep.
Now we won.
We're a day
rewind?
before.
No. The time.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
September 28th.
The night before RE2. Now, I'm pausing. This is interesting because we never seen the inside of Jill's apartment complex in vanilla Resident Evil 3, aside from a few still animations.
Also, can I just say something really quick? Because people were like even Ren was freaking out and like wasn't sure what this was initially. Can I just say that fucking chest shot like was a dead giveaway to me that was Jill, and I'm only saying that because I recognize the shirt that she was wearing.
Yeah, so I'm like, wait a second, what is this? They say single player campaign. I'm like, wait, no way, this is Resident Evil 3.
Just
Yeah,
no, don't lie. You're looking at some boobage here. That's why you caught it so
Yeah,
much.
no, yeah, that's kind of gave it away though. It was literally her boobs and her shirt.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't know what was going on because it seemed like they went with the whole, oh, we're gonna tease something in first person. But I was thinking maybe it could be RA3, but I was still having that suspicion like maybe it could be like an entirely different campaign for Project Resistance.
So they did this like, with RE2 with the rat in first person.
yes, the rat, and I think also another survivor in a following trailer. I think same like in E3 where we saw like the liquor pop up and stuff like that.
To me, it started getting really obvious when she started like looking behind her, and then you saw like Nemesis chasing her.
At first, though, I thought it actually was a Mr. X tyrant, not Nemesis, because the same body frame, and then like it looked taller than usual.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Brennan, because there's a frame I noticed when I was watching this trailer on my own earlier today that kind of would be easy to confuse for that. I do want to say though, and bit of a shout out to Nemesis because he kind of wanted this in our RE3 What We Want podcast. Jill running out of her apartment, like actually going through that sequence. So that's really cool that they actually made that like become a thing.
Now, and also, one thing I want to add really quickly, it means that Nemesis might show up earlier because of this, because he was never in her apartment in the original.
Yes, because you can tell from the time lapse right here. The sequence is going to happen a lot later in the game, unless this might be actually the opening, and then it will fast forward backwards and then continue on from there.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. I fucking love that.
Yeah, there's some things that are a little bit confusing. They kind of allude to Jill maybe going back to her apartment a couple of times, so perhaps this is like still early game. But it's just one of those things where we get it in a much later sequence.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play it right now.
Run, bitch, run! I'm kidding.
Oh, well, you're right about the wrong part.
So like right about, I'm gonna kind of pull it back a little bit.
Actually, pause it. This looked like one of the fire escape hallways you see early in the game, where you gotta run through near the I think some of the shops. This is look like one of those alleyways.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that, and I'm glad you brought that up. So it seems like where like Jill's apartment is, they're gonna kind of play it off similarly to the original, where they allude to her just kind of living near the like shopping district of the city. Which is very interesting because she's about to go through like the fire escape and everything. Also, something to note too, the caution tape coming out, and I don't know why it skipped a little bit forward, but yeah, that caution tape that is like all over the window, kind of alluding to what we're about to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to stop it right here because we kind of get a good look at the city, and apparently Jill also lives near the Kendo gun shop because it's literally like downstairs from where she lives. So you can see it on the top corner. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Actually, I cannot because it's stuck in the.
No, that's liquor.
It's a liquor store.
Similar sign, but unless if she wanted to get wasted the night before.
Well, I mean, considering what happened in the last game, I imagine she probably had a little too much to drink.
Yeah.
A little bit of the bubbly?
Yes,
a little bit of bubbly. Now, okay. Oh, man.
Actually,
No, not that. Now, that moment right there, people were debating whether it's Nemesis says stars or somebody says shit. That clearly says stars.
Someone said shit, really? Nemesis wouldn't say that.
That's been a debate for the longest time since the trailer release, though, and that clearly it says stars, because what else would Nemesis would say?
Yeah.
Also,
that wasn't Jill, because you would hear her screaming out.
I'm just gonna kind of move the frame up just a little bit, but you know, we don't. Obviously, Nemesis is in like shadows in this particular scene, and they kind of do that a lot in this trailer, covering up a lot of stuff. But it seems like Nemesis still kind of has the leather jacket going on. It's just more of like a tailcoat instead of like the actual like full-on jacket, like in the
It looks
original.
longer than the usual Mr. X type long coat.
Yeah, Survive said it looks like he's wearing a trash bag, but I think, like I told him, it's funny as fuck, but I think that what Umbrella did was they wrapped him up and then released him, so that's sort of like he has this sheet on his body, and that might get burned off and turn into the jacket, and then everything else might come off too, because he goes into Type 2.
Yeah, because that thing he was wearing is limited, just like every other tyrant, to keep him in check. Otherwise, he will go berserk, as you see later in the original RE2, that he goes all tentacle hentai on you.
Yeah.
And he just straight up. Wait, what?
He said RE2.
I did? Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. Sorry, I RE2 remake in the brain as well.
I was gonna say really quick too, like because of the promotional art, like obviously we kind of get a glimpse of his body, and I don't know why this keeps doing that, but we kind of get a glimpse of his body, and one of the things that kind of seems like what they're alluding to is like he kind of has like this. I would kind of compare this to like Metal Gear with like the nano suits that like or like the nano suit that Snake had in MGS4, but for like a tyrant, and it seems like you could probably like shoot that off. We'll see Nemesis in a better shot of that later, not in the trailer I don't think, but there are some images we could talk about later as well. But I'm gonna play it as soon as we get it to the right frame.
Yeah, this right here, man, like, that had me.
This
now-
was a total callback to the original right here.
Yeah, when she jumps out of the burning apartment building.
Hey, here's the thing though, like, no, ignoring what you see down below, like, they said like this is gonna be a single player thing for Resistance, right? So I'm like, okay, so they could stand up like a mini campaign type thing for Resistance. Okay, cool. And then boom, Jill. Okay, I see what they did there. They completely debated us for that opening announcement. And if this game didn't get leaked, man, this would have been the hypest announcement since RE2 and Democrat 5.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Sony.
I would agree because I wouldn't be totally expecting it. I'm like, there are parts where it's like you could probably say this could be something different with the way they framed it, but when you see like the blue tank top and you see her roll out, I'm like, oh shit! So they actually like are doing something with Project Resistance and RE3 at the same time, and I really like that.
Jill, over here.
Also, I will say that it's nice to see that Resistance and 3 are like intertwined,
Yeah.
How could this many people be infected?
and we did get a good look of Jill's
The
face
city
too.
is completely cut off.
Okay, this is Mikhail. Okay, now this spot here, I believe this might be the garage. You know where the DeLorean was at? The
Yeah.
gas station. This might be the spot. Either that or the area you go to immediately after jumping out the apartment building in the original 3.
You're talking about
Well,
the
I'm on
newspaper
the
place?
Oh. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Watch Together is being kind of weird because like when I pause, it like jumps to a different frame for you guys.
Yeah, we're seeing Jill run into the garage.
I've seen her like, well, because I was on Mikhail because I was gonna talk about Mikhail.
Yeah, it was on him, but you paused it at the garage.
That's so weird. It like jumps.
Do we have
I don't know if
to
you guys-
refresh?
Possibly.
Let me
I don't know.
try doing mine then. I could check on some shit.
I'm on 143. If you guys are,
On 148.
yeah, jump.
I think I'm back in. Just making sure I'm recording. My mic isn't fucked up. Okay, we
Alright,
good.
pause the video and play it again.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like about 144 or 143.
I'll play
we
it.
have-
So we can sync up.
Hopefully it's buffering for me now.
Yeah, watch it being weird. Technical difficulty, folks.
Yeah, sorry about that. This is sort of weird and impromptu. Yeah. God damn it, Watch Together.
Yeah, it's not synced up for me. So
If you want, we could just pull it off of the actual YouTube video and just, you know, pause it at the exact frame. That way we don't have to have the skipping problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna search it up on YouTube now. As soon as you say pause, just say pause, and I'll pause the video.
Okay. Yeah, the problem with that though would be out of sync a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we could always say like the exact like time.
Can someone post a trailer so we're on like the same exact trailer?
Scroll up, just I can post it again here.
Also, since we're having technical issues, like really quickly, since this is like RA3 and not RA2, what do you guys think about that secret achievement possibly being talked about later, and what could it actually be?
It could be like an extra game mode. Either I'm hoping that we get an Ada thing, someone actually escapes, or it might be extra battle.
Yeah.
Or it might be something that will just like interlink between 2 and 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking like ideally speaking, I want it to be Ada DLC because I feel like that could flesh out Resident Evil 2, give it a little bit more content. Is what people were asking for ever since Ghost Survivors, and people were kind of disappointed with that because it was just roguelike for Survivor, you know. They wanted those what if stories to be more fleshed out. So now we have a canon scenario where Ada escapes. So I think that would be cool.
Yeah, because I mean, I think the only thing as far as canon goes for that is we have it in the Chronicles games. You know, and that's fine. But how many people like who are into these games are gonna go jump into a spin-off like that and want to play a scenario that's on a
at that point, just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like I think most people would rather have it in a mainline title and just play it off of that, especially on something where they can freely control the character and stuff like that, as opposed to it being on rails. So
yeah, lazy wise, if Capcom wanted to just put out some quick content, they would do Extreme Battle since it's not in the original. Like it was now a lot of people get this confused. Extreme Battle came out in the re-releases of RE2 DualShock Edition. They were not in the original game. So when people say, "Oh, they cut out content," you have to understand that was not in the original game to begin with.
So yeah, when you talk about vanilla release, you're correct. You're definitely correct.
Oh, so are we on 143 on the official?
Yes, we are.
143. I see Mikhail.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about this because this is obviously the scene where they're in the rail car. You know, a bunch of different like posters, miscellaneous stuff in the background. But I did want to focus on this redesign. I actually really like this redesign. The only thing that I will kind of give flack on Capcom for is the UBCS logo. It's just the umbrella logo and not the one that they used for UBCS in the original.
I'm pretty sure they did have umbrella logos as well on their uniforms, depending on what they're...
They did, but they also had I believe it was swords going going through the white portions of the logo itself. So because that one, let me just pull this up really quick.
Also, Dom, I think to make it a little bit more consistent, when you say pause and play, those should be like audibles, so we're perfectly synced up.
Yeah, for sure. Hold on 1 second. I'm just gonna...
I think I can look at the logo. I can go to the chat, so just post it here.
Yeah, I got it. Because this is the... for it. Because it's a sword and shield motif with it, so
see if I can
that's what it looks like.
Post this up because I gotta deal with Discord people. So yeah, you can see it is definitely different. It's still the umbrella logo, but you don't see the sword and shield in the middle.
It's a little bit of a nitpick on my end, I know, but that is the only thing I will say that it's kind of but you know, at least they have the logo as opposed to just being like, oh yeah, we're just a bunch of mercenaries.
Yeah, Mikhail himself, he looks good. He looks a little bit older, but I totally don't mind that.
I will say too, because I kind of brought this up when the images were leaked, and I like this about Carlos. His redesign, and also in terms of Mikhail's, their uniforms look better in this game. because they're not wearing olive drab. Olive drab makes more sense for like woodland environment. They're in an urban environment, so makes more sense to wear like grays and blacks.
We're not in Africa, mate.
So,
Are you ready to do the countdown, Don, for play?
yep. 3, 2, 1, play.
The city is completely cut off, isolated.
You see the subject on the
Don't
card.
look at it like that, all right?
Now
Not in-
here, I'm gonna pause at 150.
150.
Yeah. So as I mentioned before, though, this might be one of two areas. It could be the garage where it had the DeLorean, the original RE3, or it might be that location you run into immediately afterwards. When you see that guy, all freaking out, losing his shit, because that could be like the office upstairs. But we wouldn't know. Not upstairs. Actually, that was next to the car. Never mind. Ignore that part. But yeah, it could be one of those two locations. Either that or a new locale altogether.
Yeah, I could see that.
Also, this guy is Murphy Seeker. Now, he is one of the members in the Umbrella Service. He's Carlos's best friend. You don't see this character often, depending on what you do in the I forget where it is. It's like a little steam room where you throw the lamp.
I know you're talking about, because if you go to the gas station first, you'll get Carlos there instead of Nikolai. But if you do reverse, you get Carlos there instead of Nikolai. And that's when Carlos goes to emotional breakdown.
Yeah, because he has to shoot his best friend. And usually I think you can also get this route as well by going into the basement and hiding, and then Carlos and Jill escapes from outside through there. I think there's a scene where Carlos shoots this guy because he's infected. So him saying that he's not infected, I believe that's going to be a lie in this game, because he clearly is. I think there was something interesting in the Resident Evil wiki. They said that this guy got infected due to drinking the contaminated water, which explains RE2 a bit. So that was cut out of the script, actually, and it wasn't put... No, actually, it was scripted and it was acted, but it wasn't put into the full game.
That makes no sense. Why wouldn't they do that?
I don't know.
The thing, too, is kind of like Marvin in RE2 Remake. There is a chance that a lot of these characters that did not get a whole lot of screen time in the original could get more fleshed out. And I really like that prospect, because it means we get more screen time with these characters, more backstory, and probably more personality out of these characters. So that way, we get a general
case
feel
of Marvin, this would actually be a good time to set up Outbreak as a potential remake, because you see him more in those games, well, one of those games, over Resident Evil 2 and 3. Because in 3, he's taking a dirt nap, basically.
And
also, I don't mean to take this back, just very slightly. If you click back to 146, if you go back to where Mikhail was, you can kind of see a silhouette in the background of somebody standing in the next rail car. We don't know. It's probably
either survivors or other members of their little group.
Oh, I see
That
it
is
now.
something
Yeah.
to point out though, because like that is easy to miss because you don't see it really like easily.
All right, so we're at 150 technically.
Yeah, about. Also, if you click on 150, because you'll get to the frame where you see Brad Vickers.
Yeah.
There's a bar, and that could possibly be Jay's bar from Outbreak. So, just pointing that out there.
See a police car through it. That's funny.
I also see, a police car crashed through there. Was there like some Popeyes like chicken sandwiches in there?
I hope so. But I think we're good to play. Oh, and also we get our first look of Brad, obviously. So.
All right, you gotta do the countdown.
He looks much different from the original remake.
He sounds also very much like Chris in RE5 for some reason, to me at least. But
it seems like they're taking those minor characters and giving them more expanded roles and stuff to do, since he is talking to Jill on the streets.
Also, we're gonna do 3, 2, 1, play.
Right now, it's got a hard on for the only 2 stars left in town.
They don't need a bleeding heart like you getting in the way.
And
So
this is RPD.
I'm just gonna pause it right at 202 and kind of click back because we get like a few good shots of a couple of characters. So like, if we click on right about 153, we get the back view of Nikolai. He's climbing up some stairs.
You get the
And
black guy
cars left
here
in town.
in the next frames.
They don't
Yep,
need a
that's
bleeding
Nikolai.
heart like you,
The silver fox.
getting in the way.
Actually, also
Oh.
on 155, very specific frame, you get a side view of Nikolai as well. So
Yep.
it's very specific.
He's a
You get the-
lot less buffed than he was in the original, honestly. You seen him more juiced up in original over
Heart
this
like
version
you, getting in
of
the way.
Nikolai.
You are kind of right about that, actually.
Yep. You get the one guy who blows up in a hospital, if I remember right.
Yes, that was hospital. But Nikolai, for some reason, didn't think shooting him in the chest would kill him. He should shot him in the head, and then that was all that problem right there, right? But yes, that guy kamikaze himself, and after that, he just runs out the window.
Yeah, that is Tyrell Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And he still
You
had the
get a
glasses,
slight
too.
redesign too. Thicker beard now as well, so very interesting redesign. And also still keeping in the motif with the rest of the team wearing all black, so making sense for this new urban environment.
He is all black.
And I'm just gonna, and then also like right before we phase out of that, it's a very specific frame, but on 157 as well, we also get a shot of that that underpass in front of the RPD hall outside. So we see our first glimpse of what is Carlos.
So I'm curious
Carlos
about
is-
something. Since Carlos... Oh, good.
Okay, what's up? Go ahead.
I was curious about something. Since Carlos is going to the RPD, and since things are going to be different now, and since Brad is like out in the streets or whatever, and they're looking for survivors at the RPD, do you think that maybe this is a playable segment with Carlos where he possibly kills Brad?
That's too soon to tell because we don't have a lot of context here.
It's so weird because you never seen them at RPD before, so it seems like they're setting up something different.
Yeah, I
I
wonder how they're going to
suspect-
handle RPD with Jill because she has to go there to get some stuff, right, and whatnot. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Mm.
Because
I
Nemesis,
speculate, really quick, like I speculate maybe they might change it to where UBCS, aside from just being told that they were supposed to go in and rescue survivors as like a possible cover-up, or like using that as a cover-up, they were originally sent there to maybe, or possibly only sent there to arrest both Brad and any other, Brad and Jill, and then any other STARS members they came across to cover up their tracks.
and so they from the dialogue we have so far though, that's unlikely they're going to arrest them though because they had no reason to. Because well, why would they? They're for survivors.
There could also be the fact that the radio was at the STARS office, and if you remember in the RE2 remake, the office is still the same for the most part, with the exception of where Wesker's desk is placed, and also just the fact that the weapons locker has been moved all the way to the very back as opposed to the side of the radio. So that could be why they're going there, is just to use the radio, because that was also a thing in the original where Jill was trying to get there to make radio contact.
All right,
So
Dom.
I'm gonna do the countdown again. 3, 2, 1, play.
Star's office has to be in this direction.
It gets worse
And
every
then I'm
night.
gonna pause it right here again at 2:04, because now we get a good look of Jill's apartment and her just looking out her window.
That's a nice apartment.
Yeah. So we could just play it again. 3, 2, 1, go.
Worse every night.
They go to the streets again.
The world
the
to know
fence.
what they've done.
Oh, my head.
What's wrong with
So-
Umbrella?
That water effects.
So I'm gonna click back just a little bit. We don't know who this is behind the monitor. Really hard to tell because obviously the noise is kind of covering up their face, so it's really
You
hard
know,
to make what-
I'm going to throw out a hunch though. It might be actually a character. Either it might be the mastermind, or it might be a character from Outbreak, because he looks like one of the guys in Outbreak 2. In I think it was like a hospital facility or building, whatever. Basically, he gets assassinated by, I believe it was Nikolai.
Ah, okay. Yeah, the you're talking about when you go through what was that mission run where we go through the school and there's like that one like mastermind like in the labs and shit that releases the tyrant.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he gets killed. And then you have to get the elevator codes. It could be something like that. I would not mind if they did more Outbreak crossovers because we saw it with Remake 2 where you could see Rita's desk.
Yeah, and you know that would be an interesting thing to do is have you know RE3 Resistance being the like companion piece to RE3 for online components, and then maybe Outbreak as another like companion piece to the game, possibly if they do a remake to that as well.
So before we continue, there has been a question that people have been worried about. They said that because they announced, and we're gonna talk about like more Project Resistance after this, but they said that do you think that Operation Mad Jackal is going to make it because they're putting this into the game with Project Resistance?
Yes. And I'm gonna say this right now. Uh, you're gonna see this at the very end, but look at how many development studios are involved. Neobards is, as far as I'm aware, exclusively handling Resistance. K2, Capcom, and what is it? And I forget the last name of the
M2?
company. M2, yeah, was it M2 Net? Really weird because I think of like M.2 SSDs, but anyway, that's beside the point. 3 different studios working on RE3, two of which I think are working on RE3, and one of which is working on Resistance. So they have this divided up in a way where if Resistance has a lot of focus, it's not going to divert from RE3, at least I think. So I think you can expect Mercenaries to make it in the final cut.
Yeah, and it would be weird because they spent a lot of time working on like stuff like tofu mode, hunk mode, stuff that was in the original game. So I don't think it's going to be cut out because Operation Mad Jackal was indeed in the original for RE3, and they have a lot of teams working on this. This is like M2's like first game, but they've been working with Capcom ever since the Resident Evil remake ports and Monster Hunter. They've been very closely collaborating with them, so they put a lot of stock into them because they have been working with them for so long. And I believe one of the heads is like a former Platinum Games developer or something like that.
Former CEO, yes.
Okay, so I think because of this sort of collaboration, they might be in good hands, and this might mend the bridge with them and Platinum.
Also, to kind of, I don't mean to like talk too much, but like, something to keep in mind is that you have former Platinum Games and former Capcom employees working on this game on those other studios, which is also interesting because some of those former Platinum Games employees are probably former Capcom employees as well.
Yeah, so it's
So it's
fucking
like-
ironic, dude.
So it's like they're, you know, it's like everybody's coming back to Capcom. It's like it's almost. I'm gonna go on a hunch here and say like it's almost as if Capcom is coming back.
Got the band back together.
Yes, the band is
Also,
back in town.
Welcome, Arlena.
Hello.
Hey, I didn't want to talk over you guys.
Oh no, it's
that's
cool.
fine. That's fine. Feel free to
Yeah.
enjoy it.
We're still like reacting to the trailer and doing the analysis.
Yeah, I saw a little bit on it on my lunch break. So, yeah, I just got home in time because it's starting to snow outside.
Arlena, do you have the trailer up?
Yeah, I've been watching it a little bit, and I've been reading some of the stuff that you guys have been posting.
We're on
Yeah,
2 minutes and 7 seconds. We're kind of like trying to sync it up because it's a little bit ghetto right now.
Okay.
So we're kind of doing off of a 3-2-1 go or 3-2-1 play,
hmm
and we'll
Okay.
just kind of pause it on like specific frames, just to kind of talk about some of the stuff that we're noticing in the trailer.
Yeah.
So we're on 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Just let us know when you're on that point.
Yeah, I'm already there.
Okay, so we're gonna do 3, 2, 1, go.
They don't want the world to know what they've done.
So I'm gonna stop it again
wrong with
at
Umbrella?
2 minutes and 9 seconds, really quick.
2 minutes or what?
2 minutes and 9 seconds.
I'm gonna go back.
No.
We see the like sort of weird like pin board.
Now, okay, so I want to say something about the map, aside from it just being a pre-order bonus. Fun fact, Capcom actually had that map as a like wallpaper that you can get at one point for Resident Evil Remake HD remaster. And I think it was also for Zero HD, where you could see the whole Raccoon City, and it was exactly like that with that same like art style and everything. So I just thought it was very interesting that they decided to like reuse that and do a bit of a callback to that.
It's like the Raccoon Zoo is on that map. Do some Outbreak, you bastards.
Yeah, with a zoo it.
I want to get attacked by a tiger again, or a lion.
No, I get that freaking elephant. No, we got square up, but I guess I do.
Another thing too, just to point it out, because I did notice this, if you look at the right-hand side, like on the right corner, you see Annette Birkin, and also just a little bit below that, more further to the right, you see the Stars like group photo.
Yeah, this might be actually Nikolai's little thing they have in like inside that cabin. Remember, look, the hideout he was at. This might be it. Just him pinpointing stuff that who need to be taken out and where to go and whatnot.
For sure, that would explain a lot.
All right, we're good here.
Okay. Yep, I think we're good. Unless if anybody else wanted to say anything on this.
I am good.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, play.
Bad water
What's wrong
effects.
with Umbrella?
Oh no.
Okay, I'm back. So for some
Okay.
reason I got disconnected. It was weird.
Did you hear what Brandon said?
No, repeat that, please.
Oh yeah, so when I saw this helicopter, it looked familiar. So I went back to Resident Evil 2, and I'll play on scenario second. What Ian character doesn't matter really. So and I looked at the serial number for the helicopter. So I took a screen cap and I went back to the trailer and I mashed it up, and lo and behold, it's the exact same serial number for this helicopter right here. So maybe this moment, considering that RE2 takes place multiple nights according to the dialogue, for at least in the remake. Obviously, in original game 2 though, but specifically for this remake, this moment right here would have to take place around the time Leon and Claire entered the city.
Interesting.
Who knows how long this takes though, but it's the same helicopter that crashes into the RPD. So we finally have the context towards that helicopter crashing in. So this moment right here definitely has to take place in the same time as Leon and Claire are coming into the city. And who knows, this might be where Jill could potentially get affected, or it might be sometime after the train crash.
Yeah, I think something would have to happen to the pilot because everyone was wondering, like, well, what the fuck happened? Why did he randomly crash into a building?
Nemesis will shoot the tail blaze, because in a later shot, you will see it later in the trailer. The blaze is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, I'm glad you brought up the interconnected points of that, because obviously in RE2 Remake we saw like points where the walls were broken down. There was the shower room, and then also the third floor where walls were just bursted through, and it very clearly seems like they were alluding to like the events of RE3 like happening already.
I think they even made a post about it, like, oh, what happened to this wall? Who knows?
Yeah, so it's like it makes very like I would say it makes a lot of sense for them to have stuff that connects even further in RE3 Remake that alludes back to, or does call back to RE2.
A small side question: do you guys believe the rumors that this game was like in development during the time of RE2?
I believe it, because it would have to in order to coincide with a lot of the events. Because now, given that the original RE3 was made like, it was more like an afterthought for the most part. Because you clearly can tell that the police station in RE3 was more intact, put together and whatnot, compared to it was in RE2. So you can tell that there were some last minute details they added in before, like, you say hypothetically survivors came in and took all that stuff down or whatever else happened. So them developing 3 remake or 3 make with 2 remake would make less sense though. That way it would be easier to coincide events with each other.
Yeah, that's true. So they can explain things a lot better because it's like I think it was a plot hole with them having the barricades up and taken down between RE2 to RE3. So yeah, it's like hopefully they explain that stuff a little bit more in this game.
Yeah, because the word is that survivors came in and started tearing stuff down, or zombies came in and started wrecking stuff.
Yeah, and with people on the streets now, it makes kind of more sense that people are like panicking, so they're gonna do everything they can to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst place to be is in the police station of Raccoon City.
Well, imagine that because they said it was the safest place.
The irony.
Honestly, everything that you see within the city, it is the safest place. Because you don't run into hunters, you don't run into dream demos, you don't run into brain suckers.
Just like the streets are worse.
Yeah, so technically speaking, they are correct about that.
But you still have to deal with like Mr. X and the liquors.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Where are you guys at with the timestamp?
2:13.
2:13. All right, I got it.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, play.
Stop them all.
And I also want to stop here really quick because we get our first glimpse of gameplay on 2:13 because it's at the very frame that it switches over. So.
Yeah, you see Jill aiming her gun, and it's very reminiscent of RE2. Like, I expect this game to definitely have those shared assets in mind.
Another thing too, because we see the power plant like in the original, in the background there.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't notice that initially, but maybe that's gonna allude to, hey, you're gonna go through there and you might be able to like set off the electrical barricade so that way their heads could pop off.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that, Dom, because I have a strong feeling that live selection is not gonna be in the game.
I've speculated that live selection may have been changed to literally just make the choice as you play the game. You don't have a pop-up for it. You just kind of play the game and just make your choices as you play.
So it's kind of like multiple pass.
Kinda, just
yeah. So
maybe a more linear experience, but you might be making certain like crucial decisions during your gameplay, like subconsciously.
Hypothetically though, like let's say this power plant situation, you can see the terminal to. Or Jill might have some out, like I could turn on the power or I could escape. You choose right there on the spot and that's it. No prompt saying select 1, select 2. Just make a decision on the fly. Either power it on or just run. That will probably be a good way to incorporate live selection to smooth gameplay and transaction rather than having that QTE.
Yeah. Another thing too, because I know this was kind of talked about on Twitter a little bit, that Jill would probably be picking up her first gun. She won't have one right off the bat. And we see that she's using a Glock as opposed to her M9 Samurai Edge.
In best case, we might actually get her Samurai Edge in the police station.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I'm also speculating that instead of like, you know how, you guys know how like in the original you have to kill Nemesis to get your like gun parts and stuff?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm speculating that maybe in this game, they're gonna have like more open segments that you could just explore, like city buildings and like maybe like certain homes, and you might find gun parts or you might find guns like lying around, and you just have to grab and go. You know.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I mean, as long as it's like still rewarding when you beat Nemesis, I totally wouldn't mind that.
Just one if you can.
Yeah. So are we guys ready to move on to the next segment?
I think
Let's
we are.
plug it. You can do that.
So Dom, you want to do the countdown?
Yep.
All right.
3, 2, 1, play.
Stop them all.
You gotta get out of there.
You guys are the ones who caused all of this.
No, wait. Oh, come on.
Actually, we went back to
The chopper.
No, 216.
216.
Do you guys have an idea on what its location could be at? Because I have two theories. It could be the warehouse, like in the beginning of the game, or it could be that the spot, the news, the spot where you go and get the fuel oil, where you can meet Nikolai or Carlos. I forgot what it's called though. It's not the news planet. It's something else. Yeah, we got to see the TV and you got to type in
You're
code.
talking. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that little place where the zombies break in through the blinders.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a little I know what you're talking about. It's like a little room in the back where the zombies come in and you can shoot like the pipes on the wall. I know what you're talking about.
This could be that area at least, or like I said, or it could be the opening again. As far as the original RE2 is concerned.
I'm gonna go with this area because Jill is running, and usually like that means that probably the zombies have invaded this area.
Yep. Also, is it me or is she running faster than usual in this particular shot? Maybe she's getting chased by Nemesis?
Sprint button, perhaps? Please?
No, because the sprint is still there. Like you see it in another video, but it's like she's like running faster than usual. Like I don't know, it might be me, but it could be that she runs faster when Nemesis is around.
That could be interesting. That means that you don't really have to hold down a button when he comes into the picture, and he can. It essentially means that it's seamless. So I wouldn't mind that, but I'm sure someone is gonna complain about it because they're gonna be like, "Well, why can't I manually do this? Why do I have to wait until Nemesis is around?" You know.
I could see where that's a valid complaint though, because it's like there are times where it would be viable to just be able to sprint like that in general.
Yeah, I can see the. I can
to
see the.
Sure
point.
though, but when you run into like certain enemies like the zombies though, why would you need to just use a Z button? You know, because you just dodge right through them with the of course dodge button. Which
I guess and I don't mean to cut you off, but I guess like from the perspective now that we know that this game has a dodge mechanic as opposed to RE2 Remake, that kind of doesn't really hold much weight. So,
we can continue and hold on.
There's a couple of things, so we're gonna have to like do like quick pauses. So.
Yeah,
3,
just
2, 1, go.
Who caused all of this?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but I'm unfortunately having laptop issues, so I'm having to use my phone for Discord.
Okay.
It's okay.
It doesn't want to cooperate today.
That sucks.
So again on 216, if you're on the right frame, you see Jill looking at Mikhail while he's what seems like he's outside, and I'm assuming this is the part where he goes out and starts killing the zombies, like in the original when he kicks down the barrel. And
yeah, that's an event that not many people knew actually existed, and I went there by chance, and I found out about this when I was just experimenting with Resident Evil 3, and it's probably one of the more tender moments in the game that you do not see a lot of. So I'm like, no, I hope they keep that in our remake.
Yeah, they have this weird heart-to-heart where she helps him, so it's like, it's pretty cool. It's like, I think if you go back to the train after a certain point, then you will see this scene. And I think Mikhail pushes the barrel and he blows the zombies up.
Also interesting to note too, his face is more bloodied up in this portion. Like, it wasn't like that earlier when we were seeing just like the side view of his face and stuff like that. So.
Well, I mean,
actually,
later on.
I'm curious though, which angle this might be at though, because this could actually might be him facing off against Nemesis.
I don't. Maybe.
Depending on how the angle is though, I can't tell if it's like outside or is it on another cart.
It looks like it's outside.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe, I don't know. Cause that scene does happen. I was about to make a joke that Mikhail was about to go on a one-on-one boxing match with Nemesis, but yeah, that scene does have to happen though eventually when they activate the train.
Mhm. That's my speculation for that one though. You good here?
Yeah. So we can
3,
move on to the next one.
2, 1, play.
And helicopter, of course.
Yep,
all right,
helicopter.
I'm pausing at 218.
218 on a very, very specific frame. you get to see. It's really hard to tell if this is the.
It might be the Hunter betas.
It might be the Hunter, but somebody also pointed out that it might be the Chimeras.
You guys said 218, right?
Chimeras,
Yeah,
what, Dream
218.
Demos?
Yeah, did I say Chimera? Ugh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking Devil May Cry. Yeah, the Dream Demos, the insects that you face in Resident Evil 3 very early on. People speculated that that's what it might be a redesign of, as opposed to the Hunters. Which, you know, I could kind of see that, you know, maybe because if you look at like the mouth.
Yeah, the mouth is weird. It does not look like a hunter's mouth at all.
And it looks more when you start to kind of look around, it kind of looks more insect-like. But you know, again, this is very hard to tell, and it could actually be the Hunter because you do also see like that hand kind of sticking out.
Drain demos, they do have claws too.
Plus, not only that, though, later Hunters do have different appearance from the reptiles. Like one's like a more amphibious, like a frog-like, which is I think Gammas.
Yeah, the hunter gammas are the frogs.
So hypothetically, though, it might either have a new hunter type or it would be one of the bug types from the demos or the brain suckers.
Yep. So I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1, play. And then right again, because
more quick shots.
You see a crash with Jill. This looked like a car crash.
on 218 there is a very clear shot of what Nikolai looks like actually.
Yeah, I saw
It's
that.
on a very specific frame. So
It's that one. He's like having his like that ass face.
yeah.
No lie though, I'm not digging Nikolai's look in Remake so far. I think the more gruff Russian was more appropriate for him.
I think his face fits, but not his body, if that makes sense.
He doesn't even have his scar either.
Yeah.
That is true. You know, so I don't know, like I feel like the scar would have helped probably. You know, unless if they changed it in this game, because you know, obviously every time we see a shot of him, they have parts of his face covered up in shadow, so maybe it's on one of those parts. But that would be kind of weird to move the placement of the scar. So
Anyway, I don't see any indication either from the scars, if he had one on his face. So it's most likely it's not even there.
yeah. So we can hit play again. 3, 2, 1, play.
We've got to be dreaming.
And then right at 220, if we stop right there, we get another clear shot of Jill just looking at her mirror, still in her apartment.
I'm getting a Tomb Raider vibe from that shot. The 2013, because you see her in a mirror shot as well.
Nightmare sequence, maybe? Because she gets knocked out by Nemesis?
Someone had pointed out that the design is unfortunately a little too similar to other designs from recent female characters, whether they be reboots or remakes or sequels.
Now, actually, there was one shot though that actually did kind of perplexed though. On the train, where you see her looking at Mikhail, she did look like Mila Jovovich for a second. But she had the same eyebrow type and eyes.
Multipass. Where's my multipass?
I think the thing with Jill's face, it's more so just the viewing angle, but I think the facial model that they got for this character, they try to make it look as similar to the original Resident Evil 1 as opposed to Julia Vought's rendition of Jill.
Yeah, I think that looks fine, honestly, in terms of how they did her face. It looks better than the screenshots that got leaked that they posted.
Yeah, it's a much better view and at an angle that makes a lot more sense, because the angle that they have on the actual game cover, I'm not a huge fan of, and you can get why some people wouldn't necessarily dig the look initially. So
yeah, but once you see it in game, it seems like everything's alright.
So I'm gonna hit play again in 3, 2, 1, play.
We've got to be dreaming.
And you can see her on location and whatnot. So
Has to be a nightmare sequence.
Right here, I'm gonna pause it right there on the hallway.
Which
234.
234.
I'm not gonna lie, this gave me like RE live action vibes when I saw this.
The Umbrella Hospital?
Yeah,
Yes.
it feels a little too much like RE live action, and this would not be the first time where Capcom has like retconned certain things from the live action like movies into the games.
Yeah, they love lasers so much.
Yeah, the fucking laser room from the movies got retconned in. So
I'm curious, will Nemesis's real name be Matt, and will he have a hard-on for Alice?
will he have a pupil and will he cry? Better question. Will he be like a devil and just shed a tear?
Oh, get out, dumb.
Gotta let it out. Gotta let it out. But I do think it's interesting that they have this. Maybe they're gonna have some more sequences of Umbrella, like kind of involved. I do want to ask both of you though, because the one like, I guess like fans have kind of come to the general consensus that they are leading up to like Resident Evil 4 for remakes. Do you think they will like tease Code Veronica?
I would rather have a Code Veronica remake over 4. Sorry with Zara's though, it's next game in the continuity, so they would have to do Code Veronica first over RE4.
Yeah, I think what they might do is, if this game goes over really well like RE2 did, they might go back and remake all the other like fixed camera games like RE0 and then Resident Evil Code Veronica, and then I think they might decide will they remake games afterwards or not. But personally speaking, I don't think it deserves it, because we've played RE4 like 5,000 times to death, so that means we will get 5,000 more ports of this remake. They could do adjustments and fixes, like, you know, how you don't have to hold down a button to run like you did in RE4, but I do think that they should focus on just doing the classic games first, and maybe doing interesting ideas, like seeing if you could do some cool new first-person shooter with like Resident Evil Survivor where it's actually good. I think they could just peel the ideas from the past and do those first and see what works and what doesn't.
I'm glad you mentioned RE0 though. That's a topic I want to get into probably another time as far as remix is concerned. So
that game needs to be fixed heavily.
Not just that though, but along with Resident Evil 1. But again, I don't want to get into that topic too much because this is Resident Evil 3.
Yeah. I do speculate too, because Capcom has said in the past that they did want to remake the first game again, in the style of RE2 remake. And while I was not in favor of them doing that, because I don't really think RE1 needs another remake, I think RE0 kind of deserves it more. I can kind of see why they would want to, just from an aesthetic standpoint and also from a gameplay standpoint. Things would line up better and might make a lot more sense with the new continuity.
Not only that though, if they remake 0 though, they're gonna have to remake 1 again, because again they line up just as much as 2 and 3 line up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so there is potential for it. It just I don't know if they would probably do Code Veronica, and I really think they will do 4, just because. Are you really gonna buy another HD port of 4 this time?
The only issue
with like the joke about that so many times, I think they would lead into a remake, but
the only issue with Code Veronica is that they would have a hard time grounding all of the wacky stuff in that game, which is, you know, you have cross dressers, you have fucking Wesker being all crazy and kicking Claire into the dirt. So it's a lot of stuff in there that's silly that they would have to ground a bit. But I will say, you know, try to do some of that realistic aspect and have a little fun with it, because that's what made the original like kind of fun to play, in my opinion.
For sure.
All right, let's move on.
We're good. 3, 2, 1, go.
commitment,
Gonna
honesty,
stop it right there. We
integrity.
get a shot of an Umbrella helicopter, and we get our first look of Nemesis in his canister being transported to the helicopter. Interesting side note too is that they redesigned the canisters that they drop BOWs in.
Yeah.
They were literally a bunch of tubes. Now you have a full casket.
It's not big orange tubes anymore, which is, I mean, it makes sense that you want some more lockdown on things like this.
No, I kind of have a question about, like, this is like a random city in the background. I don't think this is Raccoon City. It's probably like a nearby city, if anything. Unless if this is Raccoon City, in that case, that would be kind of weird to, do this deploy this way, but...
It's
okay.
weird, because this city
They
looks...
did it for Apocalypse.
Yeah, this city looks kind of normal and not on fire, so... I don't know if I don't think it's Raccoon City, to be honest. Maybe it's a adjacent city, and they drop them off like from here.
Yeah, it's a Deer City. There you go.
A Deer City.
I want to see that. Deer City, next infection location. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Integrity, these are the core values
Gonna
that create...
stop it right there. We kind of see the surgery room, but I don't really care about the long shot going into the surgery room. I want to focus on the chest piece there. Nemesis has a fucking engine on his chest.
values that
Vroom, vroom,
create
motherfucker.
the foundation.
What do y'all think about that?
Honestly, I need more information on it because I have no context here, so I can't give much. It might be something else because you see those. Wait, is that a tube or is that a wire? On that
Looks
thing.
like a wire.
Because if it was a tube, then it might be blood flow. Tyrants do need a to center amount of blood flow to maintain all that muscle mass.
Also,
Considering,
Nemesis
they
is
twice our size.
Nemesis is fucking jacked. Look at him.
Yeah, he's jacked up.
Oh, you know what? I kind of I'm curious as to if whether or not this operation is meant to because you know how Nemesis has a parasite inside of him.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is the process of actually injecting the parasite in his body. And we're actually seeing that.
I think it's already in there because look at how big he is. Holy shit.
I don't know what they're going where they're going with this route. Unless if they're enhancing him or something, that could be my only speculation on that.
I think this is just a little backstory to show what happened and find out a little bit on the guy who was Nemesis. That's what I think they're going for with this. So maybe they will put it in files maybe who this guy is, how he wound up in this situation, if he volunteered or not.
Either that or it's just another tyrant that got injected with the parasite. Because I think technically that's what it was though. The tyrants are human based. That much is obvious. But the parasite was injected inside a normal tyrant, and thus Nemesis was born.
Yeah, so this could be something like that as well. Just even then, it's a 1 in a million chance before someone turns into a tyrant. So it could be a little bit more backstory on that.
I'm glad you kind of brought that up, Ren.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese comics that are not canon kind of had this backstory for Nemesis, where the original person prior to becoming a tyrant was a professional boxer, which tried to explain why he literally punches out Jill in the game. So
it makes sense to me.
That could be something where they might actually take that as like inspiration, but go a little bit further with it. So
his name is Nemesis Balrog. We know.
Balrog. Well, no, was it Balrog or no? It wasn't Balrog. It was Sagat. I think that Kaneki was saying that's what Nemesis looks like.
Oh yeah, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, so that would kind of make sense actually. Not Nemesis for Street Fighter. Let's make it happen.
He's already Marvel's Capcom, so there you go.
He needs his ball, brother. Come on.
He needs to put him in Street Fighter.
He's
DLC.
He's fighting against him Ryu and Marvel's Capcom. That's your Street Fighter.
I almost thought Dom said he needs some pussy. I'm like, well, I don't know how that would work, but
No. He's already going for Jill.
Okay, yeah, you're right about that.
He can't take rejection. That's what this game is about, really. Anyway, let's do the countdown again. 3, 2, 1.
Create the foundation for Umbrella Corp.
There's not much else to add here. The Resistance trailer and
stop right at what is it? 242. You basically get to see the cartridge number, and yeah, you pretty much find out that the code name for this tyrant is Nemesis. Yes, this is Nemesis, if you didn't know. So, but right underneath it says lot, and then it's whited out, and it says none above it. So, not sure what that's all about. That might just be like some extra little details on the cartridge that they thought they should add. Other than that, nothing really too fancy. We just get to see the cart that he's basically in. So other than that, we get a close-up shot of his eye. Nothing like too interesting.
Nose. It's all about the nose. The crooked ass nose.
Release date of April 3rd. So you can pre-order the game then, or get the game then, rather, I should say.
How do you guys feel about that release date?
It's a lot sooner than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I thought it would be closer towards the PS5 release. So.
Because with 2, it was announced at E3, which was June, and it came out in July. So that's like X amount of months. Here it's December, and it's coming out in April. That's a shorter time span.
Yeah, and they have like all hands on deck, so I'm really hopeful to see like what they have next. And remember, people, like Jump Fiesta is the 22nd, so supposedly they're going to be showing more gameplay as well as an unannounced Capcom title that they're working on. I assume that will come out way after this, and we have no idea what it's going to be.
Yeah, we don't know. That could be a completely different thing unrelated to RE.
If it's really good, we will definitely do an analysis. So
watch it be like, hey, do you guys remember Dino Crisis?
I would mark the fuck out for that so hard. You have no idea.
I mean, RE3, Dino Crisis 1, kind of go.
We need a Dino Crisis 3 costume. Sorry, a Dino Crisis 1 costume for Jill, because it did not have that. It don't have that in Remake, man. I'm gonna cry in the corner.
I think the things that they need in Remake as far as alts go, obviously we have the classic RE3 costume, but RE1 costume, Dino Crisis 1 costume, and there was another one I forget off the top of my head. Anyway, yeah, RE1 original and Dino Crisis 1 original. I think those are like two vital alternate costumes they should have, like, without a doubt in this game. But who knows? But then obviously at the very end we see all the different things, different companies that are involved. Neobards, M2, K2, and then Capcom, obviously, their IP. Neobard specifically, as I said before, they're working on the Resistance spinoff, which now is, if you look at the very end, is now bundled with RE3, so it's a free bundle. And it's a shame because I actually would have bought this standalone, but I think a lot of people gave this game flack, and unrightfully so, because the game is actually fun, and I've played it quite a bit when it was in beta.
I personally don't blame people for getting a little upset though, because like we want news on like the mainline games, and then we got to spin off, because Capcom history of spin-offs. No, not including the canon ones. Talking about just strictly spin-offs like Raccoon City, Umbrella Corps and whatnot. Yeah, I would be a little worried too.
True. But I think also too, it's like, I think it boils down to people were being a little bit impatient for RE3 Remake. So
yeah, and then they just like
ended up getting it.
They fucking mollywopped us. What a surprise! Holy shit! because I was not expecting like Project Resistance to be bundled into RE3 at all.
So that's 2 games for the price of 1.
Yeah, I do think though that if this game came out like by itself, it would have been DOA because of the reception to Project Resistance. But people who played it like mostly said that it was decent. It's just the mastermind that is OP. So I think it was part of the community not giving it a fair shake because of the reputation of side games in the past, and part of the community hating it because it wasn't Outbreak or anything like that. Which I can understand, like, some of those complaints, but at the same time, since they are bundling it in now, there's really no reason to be mad anymore, because it's like, okay, optional multiplayer mode, I can skip this. So
yeah, I will say too though, with the Outbreak 3 thing, it's like that one was kind of weird too, because it's like people didn't support the original Outbreak game, so it's like,
yes, that is true. Outbreak did not sell well, so
Alright, okay, in defense though of that, we also gotta consider that the time period. Online games weren't really the biggest thing for consoles, not including Halo. Like, Halo's a different story, of course, but
different platform too, so
yeah, so I can't give people shit for not supporting Outbreak when at the time it wasn't viable for a lot of people.
there was a few like big PS2 multiplayer games that sold like SOCOM, but for like Outbreak, you really need communication. Like, I can't stress that enough. That game is so hard to play without communication. If you don't have it, then it sucks.
Try playing it with the AI that is so fucking incompetent.
I don't even bother.
You can actually do it.
I don't.
You could do it. It's just not fun.
Yeah, it's like they lumber around or they get killed. I don't even bother.
I will say though, it's nice that it is included. I'm definitely down for, you know, like, playing it. I will probably be playing it regularly, just because, you know, there's 4-player co-op obviously, and then the mastermind mode. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out, and I think it's going to be some dumb fun. And that's all I really want out of RE at this point, is just some dumb fun. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I might get it also.
Well,
I mean, it looks
with,
it looks like something that I would play by myself, and of course Resistance would be something that my boyfriend and a buddy of ours can play together, because we're running out of games to play for the 3 of us.
Yeah, I mean, it comes bundled with RE3, so it works. It's like free game. And at the very end, nothing really important other than classic costumes for Jill and Carlos. Carlos looks absolutely weird. Jill looks perfectly fine.
Yeah, Carlos has a weird face with the hairstyle, but I mean, at least classic costumes are in the game, so I can't complain too much.
I should note.
Ugly looks.
I mean, he is ugly, but is there?
I should note specifically with Carlos, if you notice, it's just his face, not the fatigues that he's wearing.
Yeah.
Because all the fatigues are the same for him.
That's a little bit lazy, if you ask me.
Well, it's kind of like how they did Claire in RE2 Remake, where they didn't give her the shirt.
Oh, no sleeves, man. That was like an endless week of complaining. That was weird. Like, and then I was saying, like, they're gonna patch the sleeves into the PC version anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Well, that, and they did the free release for the PS1 models. So.
Yeah.
So the only thing we don't know, there is this. Obviously, this is for the standard edition. There is a collector's edition that includes the standard edition. Collector's edition is very similar to the collector's edition of RE2 Remake. The only notable difference is that there is no classic soundtrack DLC, and there is no bonus alternate costume DLC aside from the classics, on top of bonus DLC weapons. As far as we know at the moment, they might update that collector's edition with a deluxe edition that has yet to be showcased.
Yeah, I think maybe before jumping the gun, I'm going to wait until more information is confirmed, because that would be crazy if it's like, well, you only get these 2 costumes and that's it. I'm thinking maybe just maybe they could be unlockables because we just don't know yet what type of content is going to be extra in the game.
I would say
is
if you're
true.
gonna pre-order, wait until you see if there's any information on a deluxe edition.
Hmm.
Granted, if you're gonna go for the physical game and you're going straight for that collector's edition like I am, that makes sense. I would say go for that. Do that if you're gonna do that. But if you're gonna get the game like standard edition, physically or digitally, wait and hold off because there might be that, you know, $70-$80 edition, which is like another $10-$20 that includes extra content that they haven't talked about yet. So
Yeah.
just wait and see.
The only other thing that's worth mentioning before we wrap up is the developer message that they put out, talking about the development of RE3, the remake, how that's sort of like going along. There's a small snippet of gameplay here of Jill doing the dodge. I just wanted to bring it up because it looks exactly like it was in Revelations. Because the dodge in the original is a bit convoluted by pressing like the trigger buttons and aiming at the same time. So it's a bit more simplistic this time around, which is what I wanted. You just duck out of the way. Zombie will probably miss. If you fuck that up, he will probably grab you. So I sort of like it. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, I think that that dodge system is good. Just as long as it's not like Revelations 1, where it's like frame perfect. If you could free dodge, then that's all I really want.
And I think the last thing to mention is just them saying, well, it's a little bit of people taking this statement and being kind of stupid about it, but they were saying that, oh, well, we are making RA3 into more of like an action experience because the original was like that. And I don't think people understand, like, when you get mad about that word action and how they're phrasing it, you do understand that RE3 had a lot more action than 2, right?
RE3,
Exactly.
if you want to be technical, RE3 was the first action RE game.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I was saying, it's a lot of shit you can do. Like, you get parse off Nemesis to get better guns. You're faster. You can do dodges. You can even do fucking like dodge rolls into pointing your gun towards the enemy and blowing them away. So it's a lot of sort of fast-paced tendencies to RA3 that people just don't understand. Granted, it's still a survival horror game, but there is a lot more actiony moments in RA3.
Yeah.
So I think for now we're done. I think we touched base on everything outside of the collector's edition. That's the only thing that's probably worth mentioning, and it's right here on screen. They give you the statue, art book, stars box. You get a digital double soundtrack, and you get the stand.
Both 3 and Resistance. So
Yeah.
soundtracks.
Yeah, and you get the standard edition and the double size map, all for like, it's going for $180 at GameStop right now.
As far as I can tell, because I've been checking this all day, it has not gone live for pre-order. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to call them and see if I can get it. If I can get it, I'm running my ass over there right now. No, like seriously, I am going. And as far as the map goes too, there's a lot of notes on there. So they might be speculating some shit, like there's some hidden fucking Easter eggs you can look into with the map.
Probably so. I mean, they could also...
Damn, that price.
Yeah, that price, but that statue looks so badass. It's great.
It's a better... I would say it's a slightly better price than the RE2 remakes, because RE2 remakes was like $200 total.
Damn.
But RE2 remakes also, you have to keep in mind, included the deluxe edition of the game. Whereas this version does, as far as we know at the moment, only doesn't have a deluxe edition yet, which will probably get updated, of course. But it also has similar content where you get the art book, the soundtrack, poster, which I don't think RE2 remake had, and then the main selling point, the statue, which is probably where most of the value is coming from.
I like the box. It's pretty cool.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's literally the same box as the RE2 remake box.
except it's like just red. So, but yeah, I think we're done here. Any closing thoughts before we leave? I think this was a good discussion. I think we covered base with everything. Any final thoughts before we close out?
I'm hyped.
I am
There's,
too.
there's just not enough words to say like how hyped I am.
I don't play a lot of horror games, but this one is definitely interesting. Admittedly.
I think, you know, it's everything that I kind of expected, and they did everything that I hoped for and more. So I'm hoping that when they do release more information, that it's really good at Jump Fiesta, and that we finally get like one of the things I really wanted was like just a little more Nemesis like interactions or gameplay instead of the zombies being like all around. But they're saving that. I know they're saving it. I kind of want to see how he functions, to be honest.
I want to see.
Oh, he punch zombies' heads off.
Yes, I want to see if that comes back where he attacks other enemies.
I want to see if I could shoot off his nose and like if that would like, you know, change his face.
Dude, I said this in like a live stream. I want to shoot his nose and I want him to pick it up and put it back on like upside down. That would be fucking funny.
See, I'm glad you brought that up. Like a little side point before we close off. Like I said this in the server call, like what if like you like did damage to him and like every time he goes away, he'll come back and he'll have like scars and shit like of him like repairing himself. You know?
That would be cool.
That'd be nice. Put in a little battle damage. That'd be pretty cool.
I mean, you know, you kind of do get scarring in RE2 Remake whenever you take a bite and shit, and over time it like slowly heals, so could work.
But I think we're about to do.
We're done.
Yeah, we're about to do these outros. I have not got any sleep. I am tired. So, Dom, will you please outro yourself, good sir?
Yeah. Okay. So you all can find me as biodevil_Dom, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. I did talk about these leaks, but I'm probably gonna do my own trailer breakdown on my own channel. Maybe notice some things that we didn't notice in this particular trailer breakdown. And I'm also just gonna kind of see if there's any other information that'll come out, probably by the end of this week. So give it time. I will get to it.
Yeah, or if you want to feel really froggy, you can wait until Jump Fiesta and put in more content. Yeah, Jump Fiesta. Put in more content.
Why do you keep saying Fiesta?
I don't know. It sounds like Fiesta to me. Like you're about to do a mariachi dance. You know, it sounds weird.
Good.
All right, so Brando said he's going to pass on his outro. You can just find him on Twitter at ImmortalBrandle. I will be putting like links in the descriptions, so if you want to find everyone on Twitter, you can go there once this is up and uploaded on the channel. I guess you can find. Wait, I'm not gonna outro myself. I gotta outro the guest. Arlena, where can we find you?
Well, you guys can find me on Twitter at Gabrina K, and you can also find me on Instagram at Arlena_Bloodgrave, and you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/ArlenaBloodgrave.
Awesome. So you can find me on Twitter at RenOperative_. You can find me on YouTube at Renegade Operative, and you can find me on Twitch at Renegade_Operative. I probably will be uploading this podcast on my channel and the IAS channel because this was a great breakdown. I want everyone to know that we did it. And also, we're going to do the Jump Fiesta thing as well. I said it again, Jump Fiesta.
Jump Fiesta. I mean, they might be selling tacos over there. You never know.
There might be. It might be some good-ass tacos. But as soon as we get more information, we will probably talk about it if there's a big event. We're going to be looking forward to that one. And if the next game they show is awesome, we might be doing 2 breakdowns. It depends on when. It might not be all in the same day, but we will let you guys know. So this is the IAS signing off. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And once again, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.